Hey guys, welcome back to Burnout's Hot Rod Shop. On this episode, my son Nico and I took a trip out to Jacktown for their summer event. Happens every year in July. It's not quite as large as the spring event that a lot of us tool folks go to. They basically split the area. The whole back field is still swap meet. The front field is exhibits with like hit or miss engines and really cool stuff like that, water pumps, ice cream makers, all the necessities, right? But my son and I were able to pick up some really cool stuff. You can see on his table behind me, that's a whole lot of wood stuff, planes, and I think he picked up a couple braces and a ton of bits and a bunch of other wood stuff. He's the wood guy, not me, so I can't tell you what all he got, but he was really excited about a lot of it. So that's his stuff back there, his haul. My haul is right down here in front of me. Well, half of it is. Half of it is behind my head, so you can't see it. So let's dive into this so you can see what we picked up at Jacktown. All right, so these are all of the loose pieces. The stuff behind me is all stuff that's kind of kitted. So we'll go through the loose pieces first. Most of this stuff came off of a dollar table. There's a couple of pieces that were $2. So we'll start with the $2 pieces. First one was this Isco quarter drive ratchet. It's the fine tooth, just like the Craftsman one. Isco is who made the Craftsman version. And then these two Macs, they're both the same, but for $2, I didn't pass them up. They're 9/16 half-inch double boxes. So I think those are on a $2 table. Next up, we'll look at the 2 for $1. So this came out of a 2 for $1 bin of pliers, and it's a diamond, was that a K10? A little surface rust, but nothing major. And then to round off and make it $1, I always pick up these little welding clamps. Ballinator actually had a feature on these this week. I've always liked them. They are very handy for pinching sheet metal together when you're doing welding. So for 50 cents, I wouldn't pass that up. Another 2 for $1 buy were these 4 Craftsman pieces. So the first two I grabbed. First was this 12 millimeter, 12 point. But when we flip it over, it's the double line or flying V. You don't see the metrics of those very often. Then out of that same bin was this 5/8 VA, and it's a 6 point. Well worth 50 cents a piece on those. The other two that were in that same bin, we've got this 13/16 and 3/4 Underline C Craftsman Vanadium double open. It's definitely seen better days, but she'll clean up. And then I've always liked these little double boxes. I've got a ton of these 9/16 and halves, but when I see them for 50 cents, I don't let them sit there. So these, if you notice, it's the pointy A. Forged in USA, no part number. So that tells you that it flies in the, goes in the flying V type time range. Up here, I've got a bunch of Williams. These are all in a $1 bin. First up is this double box super wrench 9/16 and half. These are the longer ones. And this one is a 7/16 and 3/8. Not sure if I need those or not, but for $1, they come home with me. Here's the shorter with the slight offset, and it is a 5/8 and 9/16. And then the other one to go with it is the 9/16 and half. And I had 2 or 3 of each of those sizes. And then finally, I grabbed this, flip it the right way, 11/32. I could not remember if I had this in my super wrench set. I always forget about the 30-second sizes. So for $1, I grabbed it. If I don't need it, I'll pass it on. If I do, great. So I think that closes out this row. We talked about these Macs. This was on a $1 table. This is an old Mac. It's just the old block letter style, B9, double box, and that's a 3/4 and 7/8. And then this came out of a $1 bin as well. And it's a 9/16 combination wrench And it's the block style Mac, but it's stamped in instead of casted. Found this on a dollar table with a piece I'll show you later. But it's a KMC flathead screwdriver. And if you know, KMC is Kmart Corporation. I do collect Kmart. As I've said in the past, a lot of you guys probably weren't around for that. That's where my dad started working on cars, was in the Kmart Auto Center. So it just kind of reminds me of him and going there as a little kid, getting a Hot Wheels car every week when he got his paycheck. Found this guy in a dollar bin, and that's a 9/16 Snap-on. And it's the OEX, was that 180? Yep. Not sure if I need it or not, but for $1, I'll take it. We'll save that one for later. I'll tell you a story about that one. This was in a $2 pile. It's a 3/4 drive extension. But when we look at it, it's a Plum. And as I've said in the past, I don't let Plum sit on the table, especially not for $2. Another dollar bin find here. Got this ratchet. And if we look at it, it is a Challenger. And it looks like it is I can't read it. 1260-1. And it works. I figured for $1 it was going to be locked up and I could just clean it up, but it works. It just needs a cleanup. Don't have to try to get it running again. This, I'm not sure how much I paid for it. It's the green octagon handle. And if you know who that is, that's Proto. The head is nice and tight. This was in a group of tools that the guy gave me for $15. So, I don't know, maybe I gave him $5 or $8 or something for it. But that's my first Proto hammer, so I wanted to have it. This one is a little crusty, but it is a Proto. It's the Chevron. It's a 15/16, and it is a professional. Got this in a dollar bin, and the reason I grabbed this one is I do not have a Proto Professional 15/16. So that would give me one for my set until I find a better one. Then I'll pass that on to the next lucky guy. And then this guy, actually this was part of the buy with the Proto hammer for $15. And I've only ever seen 2 tools like this, and I bought both of them. When we look at it, it's a 5/8 pebble, but it's the Proto, manufactured by Plum Tool Company. I only have 2 that say they're manufactured by Plum. From what I've been reading online, after the whole lawsuit and court order for them to vacate the Plum name and switch over to Proto, they did these as transitions for 1 year. That said Proto by Plum. And they went a little bit more than the year, and Plum hammers threw a fit and took them back to court, and they got in trouble for making those beyond that 1 year. So they did about, I've read it's anywhere 14 to 16 months. And then finally this one I actually picked up at the Restore. My son and I, while we were out, we were looking around. It is a Snap-on 1/2 inch, but it is the SOEX 16. What that means is it's the Flank Drive Plus. So if you look in there, you can see the lines. And then even in the 12 point, you can see how it has just more points to it, the way the points look and stuff. So this is the current state-of-the-art wrench by Snap-on. It was stickered at $10. I picked this up and another set of wrenches they had that I'll show you in a minute. And I asked the lady, and it's a lady that sees me all the time in there, I said, you got any discounts going on today? And when she rang it up, she discounted the price of this wrench. So I got $10 off. So basically I got this one for free. And I'll never complain about that. So that's the unbundled tools. kind of loose tools we picked up at Jacktown, and one Restore pickup. Well, let me grab the stuff that's put together in sets. Be right back. Okay, so here are our kitted pieces. Got quite a few. We'll start off with this guy. So this came with the Kmart screwdriver. Initially, the guy wanted $2 for this. I looked at it and checked it out. Some of the sockets don't match. So we got this style of knurling. And the size is down there that way on that one. This has more of that knurling like Snap-on and Blackhawk. This one too. This one has no knurling. And this one goes back to the center knurling. So I looked at this for $2. I intended on grabbing it. I wanted to see what else he had. So I set it back down, and I picked up the Kmart screwdriver, and he goes, I'll tell you what, $2 for both of them, you get them both. And so I couldn't pass that up. Now, with the Proto hammer and the Proto by Plum wrench, I also picked up this Barkalow 4-angle set. It's missing the 1/2 inch. So I'm going to have to go through and see if I've got a 1/2 inch. But I love that it's in the little Barkalow pouch and stuff still. So I got that. And then I got these. I am missing the 3/16, the quarter, and the 5/16, black, red, and yellow. But the rest of them are all there. The Vaco or Vaco or however you pronounce it. Again, still in the roll, so I thought that was cool. Made in USA. So I'll find the right pieces. I have a bunch. I'll see if I have those. I was going by a booth. Guy that's always there. He's always in the same spot. He has a lot of dollar bins. We had this set sitting off to the side. If this was $1, I'd have definitely bought it. He had $25 on it. It's Thorson. It's all with the Tommy bar hole. And we are 1 1/4 down to 9/16. So I offered him 20. He took 20 for it. I didn't think 20 was too bad. When I got home, I looked on eBay, and there were sold comparables that were between $75 and $90. At the Restore, this was the set. Actually, my son saw it. He went back there before I did. And he picked these up and handed them to me. He was so excited. As I grabbed Proto. And I had $40 on this, which isn't a bad price. I'm seeing them on Marketplace for like $85, $90. eBay, $100 or more. So $40 wasn't too bad. And then whenever I asked her about the discount, she threw in the Snap-on wrench for free. That definitely made it better. I can probably sell the Snap-on for enough to get at least half my money back. But that is cool. That's going to go right in that new Proto box that I got. And then this guy. This is my first blue case SK. And it's an SK electrolyte. It's got the Chicago and Defiance, Ohio branding. It's got the yellow on the handle instead of the green like you usually see. And we go from 3/4 all the way down, and these last ones are quarter drive. No, I saw it already. 7:30 seconds. We've got the spark plug socket. We've got the extensions. We've got, unfortunately, not the SK adapter, but I think I have an SK adapter. If not, you've got the quarter drive piece. And then we've got the SK Diamond ratchet. So I also got this for $20, which I did not think was a bad deal. When I looked these up on eBay, I was amazed that the last two that were actual sold comps were $129 each. So $130, I got it for $20. Won't complain about that at all. And that touches off on all of our kitted stuff. So you tell me, what'd you think? Did I do good? I think I did pretty good, and I had an awesome day with my son. Shopping for tools with my boy, you can't beat that, right? Um, I'm definitely excited about all of it. These kitted pieces, that's kind of what I'm getting into now. Probably after a conversation with George. I know that's what he does, and I've been doing it, but it is fun to pick up a kit. Now I know two of these kits were already done, but like the Vaco kit and like the Barcelo kit, now I've got to try to find those what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces between the two of them. That's going to be kind of fun. Gives me a little puzzle to go solve. Fly landed on my arm. Anyway, what was your favorite piece? I think for mine, it was probably that blue SK Electrolyte set. Just, I have not found anything. I found the blue boxes. People want an arm and a leg for them because they're blue instead of green. But I've not found them with any tools in them. So I'm like, I'm not buying the box without any tools and paying $20, $25 is what people were asking for the box. Pick this thing up fully loaded for $20. That I'll do. So let me know your favorite. Don't forget, guys, like, share, subscribe. We are getting really close to that 500 mark. I think we were at, gosh, what was it this morning? 371? Or sorry, 471? Yeah, I'll get the part of the number right. And remember, when we get to 500, I'll give out a set of those socket rails that I use, both in the industrial box behind my head and the big snap-on that's sitting over there. So until next time, remember, guys, I'm burnout. I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.